What are some of the best video game sequels? Some would say Pokemon Gold and Silver, Paper Mario of a Thousand Year Door, Super Smash Bros. Melee, or Mother 2. But a game I don't see talked about very often as a perfect sequel is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Skater 2 improves so much upon the gameplay of the first Tony Hawk, from the controls, the content, the customization, and the level design. As a kid, I only played Tony Hawk 2 and 3 on the N64, making it pretty hard to play the first game as a grown man in my Tony Hawk 1 retrospective that I made not too long ago. So I'm excited to revisit this game, as not only do I have fond memories of it, but I also haven't replayed it in years, over a decade by now, and on top of that, I get to play an upgraded version. Moving on from the N64 to the original Xbox, with Tony Hawk 2X. Now, if you want to get technical, some people would say that 2X isn't technically the same game as Tony Hawk 2, having a lot of added stuff and gameplay features introduced in 3. But I'm not gonna be pretentious about it. 2X is basically 2 with some new bells and whistles. Plus, I found it for like $2 from a thrift store a few years ago, and for this video, I really did not want to replay the N64 version as much as I love it because of how watered down it is, or spend the money to get the Dreamcast version. Just in case though, I'll only talk about what's new to all versions of 2 first, then move on to 2X's unique gameplay features at the end. But enough specifics, let's just play the darn game already. As soon as I started playing, I immediately felt both a rush of nostalgia and realization of how much more fun 2 is than 1. I sucked ass at Tony Hawk 1 to say the least. And while I still suck here, I managed to get all the high score prizes in the hangar my first session. The controls are way more fluent, moves are easier to pull off, and you seem to earn way more points with less effort. Everything just feels better and easier to control. 2 introduces a lot to the gameplay. First are manuals. Moves that let you connect combo moves on the ground and let you score some insane amount of points. Many new moves have been added as well, and you get a fair bit of customization on moves too. Career mode follows the Super Mario 64-like formula of Tony Hawk 1, improving on it a lot. Firstly, instead of collecting secret tapes, you're achieving goals for cash. Once again, this includes stuff like getting high scores, collecting letters to spell skate, knocking barrels over, or performing a particular trick in a certain spot. Secret tapes also come back as certain missions, and once again, they're the most fun to get. Anyway, when you achieve these goals, you get prize money, but you can do 2 things. First, it unlocks new levels, and 2, it can be used to buy stuff, like boards, new tricks, and increase your stats. However, you only get so much cash to use, so use it wisely. And it's also worth mentioning that you have 2 balances: the total amount of cash you've ever collected and your current balance. The former is what's used to unlock new levels, because it would kinda suck and be pretty bad game design if you're locked out of finishing the game just because you bought stuff. In each stage, there's also small amounts of cash lying around. It's usually pretty easy to get, and if you collect every bit of money and clear every goal in the stage, you get even more money, as the last goal on the list. The stages are great too. Oddly enough, a lot of them resemble ones in Tony Hawk 1, but are still quite different, in a Mandela effect way. Like how these ramps in the hangar are like the ones in the warehouse in Tony Hawk 1, or how the overall layout is a bit similar, or how the second stage is a school, or both having nighttime city levels. Moving on, the hangar is stuck in my mind for life, like a core memory. I remember everything about it: the shattering glass, the planes, the hidden area, the barrels, and a creepy howling. Despite the Tony Hawk franchise being one I basically haven't touched since elementary school, this along with the Foundry from Tony Hawk 3 are among the most well-remembered stages in gaming for me. Then there's the school, which once again is kinda weird for the gang to hang out here as grown men. New York, Venice Beach, and California, not Italy. And I love how one of the missions here involves jumping over homeless people. And last but not least, the home of the Philly cheesesteak. Once again, the competition stages are back, only this time, I had a far easier time with them. Getting gold medals is a piece of cake now, and the judges seem to be more lenient too. And like with regular stages, these arenas have cash floating around to collect. Oh, and what would a Tony Hawk title be without extreme violence? From the subway, to drowning in water, spiky pits of death, and most of all, reckless drivers. I swear to God, the drivers of this series have to have killed thousands of people. Like this asshole at the school with his golf cart. He's probably killed half the students already. And the drivers seem to treat you like you're the asshole, despite them coming out of nowhere and you being brutally injured and bleeding, then they just carry about their day like nothing happened. As a kid, my favorite feature of this game is the customization of both characters and levels. That's right, despite this being a 25-year-old game, you get the ability to customize your characters and create levels in a similar fashion to Mario Maker, something that wasn't super common at the time, and even still now. And oh boy, there are tons of options for making your own characters. As a kid, I made characters that looked as close as they could to Mario and Luigi. Do they look anything like them? Not really, but as a kid, it felt incredible. So I had to follow up my childhood self and play career mode as a custom-made Mario. Stage building is insane too, with its own plethora of options and assets, including a punji pit. Yeah, a pit of spikes that is banned by the UN and common in the Vietnam War makes its way into this game. Way to give the parents of kids who played this game a PTSD episode, game devs. As a kid, I would always try to make my custom levels as much of a death trap as humanly possible, littered with punji pits. I always thought it was funny that you can make a playground level and there just be these giant pits of death. Although that's probably less dangerous honestly than that golf cart guy. Or sometimes I just make a level that's one square of tile and then the rest of the stage was just nothing but spike pits and death. As you can probably tell, I was a bit obsessed with the pits of death. I was even more obsessed with those pits of lava or molten metal or whatever in Tony Hawk 3, which is something that we'll get to when I cover that game in the future. Alright, I feel that now is a good time to go over the differences in 2X. First, the graphics are way better, being on the Xbox, not just a 6th gen console, but the most powerful console of that generation. The whole menu layout and the like has also been changed, although I feel like it's for the worse, because the original game had a much more unique main menu. And speaking of unique, a very unique feature of the OG Xbox that I hardly ever see anyone talk about is being able to copy audio from a CD onto the system's hard drive. It must have been pretty cool to be a kid in 2001 and take your friend's CD, copy it to your Xbox, and basically get a free copy. Well, to be fair, there's also a million other ways that you could get free music in the early 2000s, yet it's still a cool feature, even to me in 2025. Even cooler, in certain games, Tony Hawk 2X being one of them, you can customize your soundtrack and play ripped audio files on your hard drive to listen to. Now, being a Gen Zer, younger than this game's release date, I really don't have a whole lot of CDs of my own. So for demonstration's sake in this video, I had to borrow my sister's BTS album. And that was quite the experience. Anyway, I've been thinking about buying them other 1 or 2 soundtracks on CD just to have as collector's items. And if I had bought them, it would have been so cool to listen to Pollyanna or Being Friends while playing. Although, listening to my dad's Dave Ramsey lectures on CD while getting violently bodied is quite the fun time too. The main attraction of 2X over 2, however, are the new stages. Firstly, after getting free gold medals in 2's career mode, you unlock a new 2X career mode, which is only 3 stages, one of which is a competition stage. If you get a gold medal there too, you unlock Tony Hawk 1's career mode. That's right, in the same vein as Pokemon Gen 2, players can revisit the levels of the first game with the new and improved gameplay. It's here that you really start to see how much things have been built up upon. I got 20 tapes in like half an hour, although to be fair, part of that is due to the stat upgrades. I struggled heavily with getting the Mall's secret tape in Tony Hawk 1. Well here, I got it my first try. These extra levels definitely add a lot of bang for your buck, and I wish more games had post-games, or the player gets to go through old stages and levels from previous games. And to finish this video off, I just have to talk about the credits. A video plays, where you get to see pro skaters hurting themselves, many in their groin. Ouch. I feel so sorry for these guys, not only for getting hurt, but also for their embarrassing moments being filmed and included in a video game for all the kiddies to see. At the end of the credits, the devs straight up tell you to get up and touch some grass. Decent advice, although Tony Hawk fans never really struck me as degenerate in the same way as, say, Genshin Impact or League of Legends fans do, so keep playing, Tony Hawk fans. To wrap this video up, I love Tony Hawk 2, and his replay was a blast. As a kid, I sucked at this game, never getting past a school. So to be able to finally conquer this title and truly grow to love it has been a great experience. From all the new content, the better mechanics, and a sheer amount of customization, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is one of the best sequels of all time. Yet the series isn't done yet, with many more installments, the next of which, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, is my favorite in the franchise, and I do plan to cover it eventually. However, the Switch 2 is going to come out in less than 2 weeks as of me writing the script, and it'll probably be like 1 week or a couple of days by the time I finish this video. I'll probably be too occupied with it to want to work on a video for an older game for a while, and there's no way I'll finish a video like that so quickly. Instead, I plan to cover Tony Hawk 3 later this year, and who knows, I might even do 4 too, depending on what you guys want me to do. Anyway, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on this game in the comments. And until next time everyone,